Hey, you guys. Hi, Kathy Bobathy. Hi, John Harvey. This is an impromptu video. Hi, Shannon O'Brien. Hi, Still Found Hope. No, we're not on the island. We're not in Maui anymore. Oh, goodness, you guys. How are you? How is everybody doing? I hope you all can hear me okay. Well, somebody let me know if they can hear me okay. Let me know how the sound is. I'm so happy to see you all. Hey. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, thanks, Ashton. Thanks, Shannon. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Hey, Naila. Hi. Oh, I love you too. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy you all are here, you guys. It's been kind of a whirlwind. I just got to be like seriously honest with you. So I'm traveling. I am in Southwestern Minnesota. I was up near the Twin Cities, near Minnesota, St. Paul, and then I drove through Rochester to Winona, and then we went up to La Crosse, Wisconsin, to see my niece graduate and receive her doctorate. And road tripping is one of my favorite things. It's kind of my happy place. It's something I really, really enjoy. And I planned everything so perfectly, you guys. First of all, welcome. I know that I'm kind of like 2 minutes in and rambling. And this is basically probably just for like, oh, it's Nyla. Nyla. Hi, Charlie. Thank you for letting me know how to say your name, Nyla. I keep saying it wrong like every week. So this is going to be a topic of how to spot safe people versus unsafe people in a community setting. That is what we're going to talk about tonight, and I'm going to do my best to like answer your questions and give you great content and add value and provide, you know, some support for both practitioners and survivors. And that's what we are ultimately going to do. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update because we're all kind of, you know, you're my family. Hi, Lynn. Thank you so much. You're beautiful too. I haven't seen you because all I see is your avatar, but I know you're beautiful. By faith, I can tell. You all are so beautiful. That I call you all in one of our groups, I call you all my beautifuls because you guys are all so amazing. You guys are the most beautiful community I've ever met in my life. So we are going to talk about discerning safe people versus unsafe people. I think I am going to like seriously take you outside though, because I called up Matt Pappas, who is moderating right now. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Poppy, who probably in like 5 or 10 minutes will start giving you guys some crisis care information. So this is not crisis care. You'll receive all the crisis care information momentarily. And then on a replay, if you would, hi, Poppy. I was just talking about you behind your back, in front of your back, saying you're going to be here in just a second. So if you're here on a replay, please enable live chat, not top chat, but live chat, and you'll get all the crisis care information that you could possibly want or need. And then if all of us could copy onto our clipboard suicide hotline information, rape, abuse, incest, domestic violence, any type of crisis care information that's near and dear to your heart, if you could copy that and you could share that on social, be ready to share that with anyone, that would be tremendously helpful. You could save a life, and all you would have had to do is copy and paste something. It would have cost you nothing. Like it would have cost you not even $1, just a few moments of your time. So I love, you know, encouraging all of us to be advocates for people. So just to let you know, I'm traveling. I got to see my niece graduate with her doctorate, and it's quite an accomplishment. I also got a text message from my son on Mother's Day, which is like super amazing. And then I got to talk to him briefly while he was driving on Mother's Day. He was driving back from his mother-in-law's house where they made her breakfast, which I thought was like super cool. But yeah, so I planned everything out, you guys. I planned everything out. I got the Wi-Fi information for like where I'm staying at my in-laws' house. And I thought I had it all figured out. And I did it ahead of time, thinking, oh, what could possibly go wrong? Like, it's going to be great. I'm going to have like a spot. I'm going to set up ahead of time. I was there an hour early. And then it wasn't like I didn't have the right information. I didn't have the right like network name or password name. I don't know, I think I had like extra characters or some crud like that. So anyhow, I called up Matt Pappas, who's moderating, and I basically had like a 4-minute meltdown. Like, I'm not going to be able to record it. I don't know what to do. I don't have any Wi-Fi. I set it up ahead of time. I did everything I could. Nothing's working. Oh my gosh. Ah! I kind of had like a, you know, a survivor meltdown, if you will, because, you know, that's what we do. That's what survivors do when, you know, you're in a new situation, or you're in a awkward or a difficult situation, or a foreign, you know, place, or, you know, things don't go according to plan. Sometimes that can feel, what was the word I used? I felt trapped. And for survivors, when we feel trapped, it is very triggering for us to feel trapped, because so often we were trapped younger, whether it was by someone who was abusive, or someone who enabled our abuse, or if we were in like a neglect situation, or we were in like a captivity situation, or if like there was, you know, exploitation, or, you know, it doesn't matter, ranging from neglect all the way to any type of abuse or torture or trafficking or exploitation, or anything. You can feel trapped. Like, even if it's a neglect situation, you can feel trapped, because you're like trapped all alone, or you just feel all alone. You feel isolated. All these things can be very triggering. And so I was basically, I'm just being honest with you, like, not my proudest moment. You know, I wanted to have my desk set up. I even brought my little travel light with me, so I would have lighting. Like, I had it all figured out. Like, I thought, you know, what could possibly go wrong? I'm doing all the things. Like, it's going to be great. It didn't work out that way. So I'm in a car. I'm in a rental car. And it's a nice rental car. They gave us a free upgrade. I rented a Hyundai, and they gave us like an Infinity or something, which I've never even driven an Infinity. It's pretty fancy. But anyway, so I'm in a rental car. And I think what I'd like to do, maybe as we get into like the content and I'm talking, I'm going to walk and talk is what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk and talk. It's nice and quiet outside. It's relatively cool. It's like high 60s, low 70s. And hey, Hunter, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see all of you. My goodness. So happy to see you guys. I hope all these notifications aren't coming up on your screen, because they're all over my screen. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so what I would like to do is, you know, I just want to maybe go for a walk and talk about ways that I have found that have been very, very helpful for myself. Things I've read in books, in medical journals, in, you know, different research I've done, different research papers I've read on Google Scholar. If you guys aren't familiar with Google Scholar, it's amazing. You know, you can look up all these different papers and dissertations and everything that were submitted, and on all these different topics, and it's really, really helpful. And I just want to share with you what I've learned about, you know, whether it's about the human brain, about the way our body responds to trauma, and how that ties into being around safe people versus unsafe people. Because, like, neurologically, biochemically, our body does certain things when we are in certain environments, and it will, different places and different things and different sounds and smells and sights and people, just all of it, it triggers different chemical responses in our body. And if you're around safe people, less negative reactions happen in your body chemically. And that's super important for survivors to embrace. Because as we embrace that and we realize that we're not just a freak who can't stand crowds, or we aren't a freak that just doesn't like to be around other people. Like, there's actually a chemical reason of like things that we're not able to do certain things the same way that other people do them. And it's really important for us to grasp that, because then we don't feel like it's just like it's our fault, it's our choice. We're just choosing to be weird or to stay stuck, and that's never the case. Like, when was the last time you met somebody that just wants to choose to, like, on purpose stay stuck and struggle? Like, that's, maybe that could happen, but it's like not likely. You know what I mean? It's not like the most common thing that's going to happen. So what I would like to do is, I think I'd like to maybe take you all outside and just show you like where I went out in the middle of nowhere by this little tiny airport out here. And I found like a field with some fences and some crops and like a little stream. And maybe I'll just walk and talk and until I get kind of hot, and then we'll come back to the car, and then I'll sit and do some air conditioning if that's okay. So, hi, Hunter. For those of you that get really irritated when I pause and like say hi to everybody, I'm sorry. But I just think that, you know, this is going to be a field trip video. That, let's just call this a bonus video. Like, I wanted to be here with you guys tonight. I didn't want to just not record because I'm traveling. I really love spending time with you. And yes, air conditioning is the bestest ever. Oh, thanks for checking in while you're traveling. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm sending you love too. Thank you, Nyla. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, so I'm looking and like, you know, oh, by the way, like, I don't know like how it is where you all live, but where I live, the sun sets at 6:30 at night. And here it is like, it's 8 o'clock at night right now, and it is like still sunny. I have like kind of an itch. Hold on. But it's like, yeah, it's 8 o'clock at night, 8 something, and it's like, it's still sunny. So, oh, any thumbs up that you guys bless me with, it helps the video be sort of blessed by YouTube and Google, and it puts it in people's recommended videos, and more survivors when they're looking at other things on YouTube, like based on their search, then they will find us and they'll be able to come and hang out with us and receive free support. So if you give this video a thumbs up, if it's helpful, only if it's helpful, then that would be amazing. It helps a lot. And it counteracts the thumb, because the thumbs downers are always there. You know, they're never going to not be around. There's always going to be the thumbs downers. So let's go for a walk, because I just want to walk and talk. I'm going to like maybe turn the camera around if I can. I hope it'll let me. Hope I don't lose everybody if I turn the camera around. Oh, I can do this thing where I will turn it around. Okay, well, let's just go for a walk, shall we? 1 second. Oh, I'm gonna like, okay, here we go. Listen to this. Let me turn this around. Here we go. How about that, guys? Isn't that pretty? Minnesota, don't you know? Yeah. It is peaceful. I know. It's like the hills are alive with the sound of music. Just gonna like run through the grass. Let's call this the trip to Grandma's. That's a good idea. That's what we'll do. So let's just go for a walk, okay? So I want to talk about safe people versus unsafe people. So I don't have the whole thing committed to memory, but what we have is a screen share. If anybody has the screenshot of the screen share from a few weeks ago and the past several weeks, not last week because we interrupted our normally scheduled program with a different video last week, but week before I think was we're talking about the safe people characteristics versus unsafe people. And what I would like for us to pay attention to regarding safe people versus unsafe people is a lot of them feel and act like they're always right, they're never wrong, and they're not open to correction. They're not open to suggestion. And if they offend you or they're unkind to you and they are abusive or, you know, anything like that, and you call them out on it, they will typically either throw a tantrum like a 3-year-old or they'll, you know, sort of give you the, like, not the cold shoulder, but they'll become very like ice, you know, sort of shut you down and pretend you don't exist, give you the silent treatment. And, well, sadly, they also don't ever take responsibility for their actions. They, let's just listen to the birds and stop. So they don't take responsibility for their actions. They blame other people. They don't ever admit that they're wrong about anything. And some person, one of the people is, one of the people here in our community mentioned earlier tonight that another unsafe characteristic is when people ask you a lot of personal questions about yourself, but they don't really share anything about themselves. It's like they want to, like, get ammunition. They want to get ammunition on you, you know, and they don't ever want to, like, share anything about themselves. A lot of the time, when you're around unsafe people, you get an elevated heart rate. You get sort of a dry mouth sometimes. Or depending on your trauma response type, you could feel the sudden urge to draw near to the person in a very like fast sort of way, like emotionally draw near to them and abandon your own best interests or your own boundaries and sort of like abandon yourself to get closer to them. And good night, Nyla. Good night, Nyla. Yes, I agree. Unsafe people want to control you. That is so true. They're very controlling. They like to isolate you. They don't like it when you do anything that they didn't think of or that they don't consider to be like something quote unquote normal to them. A lot of times unsafe people, they like to pretend they have it all together. They like to dominate the conversation, or if you're dealing with someone who is, let's say, more manipulative in nature, they will say things about this. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. They will say things about themselves, like what a bad situation they might be in, and they wait for your compassionate response. They wait for your compassionate response, right? They talk about what a bad situation they're in. Perhaps that, you know, My husband left me, my dog died, I'm 5 months behind on my bills, my wife turned off the phone, I don't have any money for food. You know, they tell you about all their problems, right? And they wait to see if you'll respond compassionately and offer resources of your own. Offer your own resources. Really important to remember that, you guys. A lot of times, they'll wait to see if you respond compassionately, offering resources of your own. Doesn't matter whether or not you can afford it. Doesn't matter whether or not it's something that you're just, wanting to give out of the kindness of your own heart, or it doesn't matter. Oh, what is this? Hi, Katie. I didn't get that. Sorry about that. I wanted to say hi. But yeah, a lot of the time, if you meet a toxic person, someone who's unsafe, they do try to sort of suck you in to their vortex, if you will, just to see if you will respond compassionately. They rely on people buying into their sob stories. And ooh, Kathy Bobathy says something good. If you feel yourself dissociate around someone, get away and tune into yourself. That's excellent advice, you guys. You know, sometimes, depending on our trauma response type, we could freeze, we could fawn and feel ourselves drawn to someone uncontrollably, as though there's a chemical reaction and we can't control it. We could be dissociating if we stay in a freeze response. If we're in a flee and we feel like getting away and we have this undeniable urge to just go somewhere, anywhere but there. Or they bring out the worst in you and you become instantly aggressive, right? Instantly aggressive. And I just want to know if any of you can think of a time when you met someone or you were in a situation with someone, either family of origin, friend, boss, coworker, new situation, you've been somewhere before but you'd never met these particular people, and you can think of a time when you didn't quite feel like yourself. And, it can be, Hollywood paints this picture of like, what love looks like and how you fall in love, and it's love at first sight and you're drawn to the person and you see each other from across the room and just, and it's this instant overnight whirlwind of a romance type of situation. I don't know anyone who's experienced something like that and had it be a good thing, had it be a healthy thing. So I want you to beware that, the whole love at first sight, chemical reaction, drawn to someone, see them from across the room, your eyes meet, there's that, stare. The stare is kind of a creepy thing. I know that in the movies they don't talk about it being a creepy thing. They're like, ooh, he was staring at me from across the room, and they think it's like a good thing. But rarely have I ever had that situation and had it be something that was healthy, have it be something that worked out in a good way. So I just want you to be aware of that. I really want you guys to be aware if you don't feel like yourself, whether you're in in an intimate relationship, if you're in a boss situation, a coworker situation, friends, family of origin. Sometimes customers make you feel uneasy. Sometimes Hunter says, I feel unsafe around people who clearly see that you have shame or sad response to something. Kathy says, I can understand. Yeah. Thanks for participating, you guys. You guys are so awesome. Hi, Katie. I can't type. I couldn't get that. Katie, if you're in crisis, seems like perhaps there might be something going on, like it might be a crisis situation. Definitely seek care. Seek the care you deserve. I really want you to get the care that you deserve if you're stuck in a situation that's unhealthy. I'm not set up for crisis care. I'm so sorry. And yeah, most definitely. Please, 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 Katie. Even if you just have to call and just talk with someone, just let them know what's going on. Maybe ask them their advice. Because I'm just here to have a conversation and share. And I'm not equipped to help. I'm so sorry. I really want to. But yeah, have any of you been in that situation? Have any of you been in a situation where you feel like you might not have been you? You might, you might be in a situation that feels unsafe, but you're not even sure, gosh, I'm not acting like myself. I'm feeling this undeniable shift in like the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Kathy's mentioning a lot about sexual relationships and how sexual relationships are a choice. They definitely are. Sexual relationships are choice. If you're ever feeling like you're being forced or drawn or led or taken to, and it's very good for us to know our own limits, know that love is a choice, sex is a choice. I know that if we're on this channel, many of us were placed in sexual situations at a very young age, too young, and that's definitely not where we need to be now in our lives. We want to learn new, healthier skills. We want to learn how to interact with people in a safer way. We want to make really healthy choices. We want to know our limits. And we want to make sure that we're doing the best we can for us because we deserve it. We definitely deserve. We deserve to heal. We deserve to have healthy relationships. We deserve to be respected. We deserve to be heard. We deserve to have people in our lives who are humble rather than self-righteous, who are caring rather than ambivalent, who are loving rather than unkind, who are respectful rather than disrespectful. And yeah, it's really important that we know that we deserve that. Many of us were not raised to believe that we were worthy of those types of healthy relationships and that we were worthy of those types of interactions. So I really want us all to hear as often as possible that as we look and see what healthy people look like and be aware of what unhealthy people look like, then we will eventually surround ourselves with more healthy people than unhealthy people. And that's definitely what we're going for. We want to, yeah, I had no idea what was healthy either. Great point, you guys. I had no idea. Perhaps if someone could like share a link to the screenshot or something that talks about the characteristics, the healthy characteristics versus unhealthy characteristics. And then that way we can make sure that we're all on the same page, and we know that we deserve to be around healthy people. We deserve to heal. We deserve to make those healthy choices for ourselves. And, no one can make those choices for us. It has to be us, right? Yeah. It has to be us. And it's hard, you guys. Learning to be healthy and learning to make healthy choices is definitely not easy. Ashton says that she finds herself having the same conversation about boundaries. It's so true. And boundaries and safe people go hand in hand. We talk a lot about boundaries. We talk a lot about establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries and learning what it is that helps us establish and maintain a healthy boundary, learning what a healthy boundary looks like versus an unhealthy boundary. And a lot of it has to do with knowing what you will allow in your life versus what you will not allow in your life. And Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the daily recovery support. Yeah. So, you guys, I wanted to, we'll talk more about boundaries in a second for sure, but I wanted to talk, thank you, Matt, for reminding me about the daily recovery support. It's going to be 365 days a year, you guys. Every day, 365 days a year. And it's $20 a month for now, if you sign up. And there was a mention in one of the videos that someone says they don't have international calling from Canada. We have all the international numbers. So you don't need, it's not going to cost you anything, like toll-wise. We have all the international numbers, okay? And you can log on to it as a website and listen to it through audio, through your speakers on your computer, or you can call in from a telephone on an international number, whichever is most convenient for you. I'm going to be at different times. Probably do a couple calls a day. You're welcome to attend as many or as few as you like. All calls are recorded. They're all going to be saved so you can, you know, log on and re-listen to the ones that were especially helpful for you. And we were going to get started tomorrow. We were going to get started tomorrow, Tuesday, the 15th. And seeing as how I don't have all of the technological resources that I normally do when I'm at my house, when I'm at my home, I'm likely going to push it back a week. But in an effort to make up for that and to make it worth your while and worth the money that you're spending and investing in yourself, the money that we are all investing in ourselves, you won't get charged for, if you sign up in May, you won't get charged for the month of June. You'll get the month of June free, and you'll get billed again in July. So that's 365 days a year. There'll be a couple calls a day, and start off with one call a day, probably go to 2 calls a day depending on the time zone. I want to make it so that the people in the UK and other places around the world can participate. And in order to do that, I need to make it, you know, at not necessarily all US times, you know? So hopefully that explains everything. But Matt posted a link in the chat box over there. You can go to cptsdfoundation.org and you can look at all the information regarding the daily support calls. And there's a PayPal button there somewhere. And it should be really simple. You'll receive all the information you need. And yeah. So I hope that answers your guys' questions. Let's continue to talk about safe people and recognizing them. So we've talked a lot about safe characteristics and what the safe characteristics look for, or what to look for, and to find safe characteristics in people. Thank you so much, Poppy. Thank you, Poppy. I appreciate the congratulations. This has been a dream for years and years and years. So to get it up and going is seriously amazing. I'm so grateful. But yeah, let's talk about unsafe characteristics. Let's talk about some of the more subtle nuances of unsafe characteristics that we might not know a lot about. Oh, look at that bird. Oh, there's more birds. Look at the birds, you guys. So cool. Hope you guys are enjoying this field trip as much as I am. That sunset's so pretty. Out in the middle of nowhere here on this road. Ooh, Ashton brings up a good point. Ashton says it's hard for her to determine whether someone is just somewhat socially unaware or if they're being manipulative. That is a difficult one, Ashton. It is really hard to tell sometimes. One of the ways that I can tell is just by trusting my gut, listening to my intuition, and seeing if it's a character pattern, right? Seeing if it's something that they do like at the expense of someone else's well-being. So if someone's socially unaware, they're not doing anything that's going to harm others. They're just unaware, you know, which could be on the spectrum, Ashton, you know, somewhere ranging on the autism spectrum, perhaps someone with Asperger's, unaware of social cues. Those are good things to look up on the internet and just be, you know, educate ourselves on what some of our fellow humans deal with on a daily basis. But, you know, I used to believe that one of my family members was just very socially unaware until I realized that a lot of the things that they were doing were at the expense of someone else's feelings. They were very, 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 how do I say, almost like tuned in to what was hurtful and unkind and would hurt someone else's feelings. And they would, it seemed like their timing was impeccable. Like whenever they would choose to be socially unaware or they would choose to be sort of unaware of how to act or how to talk or whatever, it would always be sort of at the expense of someone else's feeling. Like they would make someone else the butt of their joke, or they would hurt someone else's feelings and say, oh, you're just being too sensitive, or, you know, you can't just take a joke, you know? You know, a lot of that is very predatory and manipulative. Yeah, character pattern, Ashton. If it's a pattern, like if it's something that basically defines who they are as a human being, then that's definitely something that to be aware of, you know. And if they do it repetitively and at the expense of others, then you know that it's probably manipulative and sort of toxic. People that enable abuse like that, and they say, oh, lighten up, grow a sense of humor. What's your problem? You know, no one means any harm. What's your problem? You're overly sensitive. Get over yourself. You know, it's often, if you notice, if you do happen to notice, that it is never at that person's expense. You know, it's always at someone else's expense. The one person who's saying, oh, lighten up, get a sense of humor. What's your problem? You know, chances are they're the enabler. They're the one that sort of enables the bullying. Bullying through overt and covert tactics is something that's very triggering for me. Like when people look at you with disdain or disgust, or they pretend that you're not in the room and they speak about you or to everyone else in the room but you, and they do it over and over and over and over again. That is an unsafe characteristic. That is not how healthy people treat other humans. I'm going to repeat that. It's very important for us to get this. People who are overt or covert in an unkind way, overtly unkind or covertly unkind. Overtly unkind is verbally or physically bashing another person in an overt way, which is obviously abusive. Covert is when someone is just simply dismissive of your existence. They pretend you're invisible, or they talk to everyone but you, or they look at you with disgust or disdain. You know by their words, actions, or lack of anything, you know that they wish that you weren't there. They would prefer that you didn't exist. You are a blemish on their otherwise perfect room full of people. You are the antithesis of everything they wish was going on in the world. They and their belief system or their friends or their family or their whatever, fill in the blank, is perfect. And yet they speak to everyone in the room but you, or they don't acknowledge your existence, or they, make noises like whenever you talk, like or they cough, whenever you decide to speak up and say something, or they take the attention, if you happen to be speaking up about something, they'll take the attention off of what you're speaking about over and over and over again, covertly, like through, noises or words or, yes, usually they seem to emotionally abuse you with facial expressions. Yes, 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 absolutely yes, that does happen. A lot of you are having, a lot of you hear this and you recognize it. Hey, Monica, so good to see you. So good to see you. Yeah, it hits home for me too, Monica. It's really painful, you guys, but I want you to know that if you are enduring this type of abuse, this emotional and psychological abuse, which is what it is. Let's just call it what it is, shall we? Let's call all of this that we're talking about here, let's call it abuse, whether it's covert or overt, it's abuse. And if you are experiencing it, I want you to know not only are you not alone, but you have the power to create safety in your life. You have the power to choose the relationships that you want to be a part of. You might not feel very powerful in this moment, but you are way more powerful than you think you are. And while you might feel stuck in a situation where you're being treated unfairly and unkindly, it's not going to last forever. This is all temporary. Everything we're going through right now is temporary. All these abusive situations that we're talking about, all these characteristics that we're talking about that are so painful to think about, that are so painful to remember, that are so painful to imagine and to envision, it's all temporary. It's not something that we're going to be going through forever. We are learning new traits and new skills every day. We are healing every day. We're working so hard for our wellness and so hard for our health. And sooner or later, we will have the health and the wellness and the peace that we have worked so hard for and that we deserve. And I'm not saying maybe, I'm saying will. It's a promise. It's going to happen. It is absolutely impossible to be moving baby steps toward wellness and health and end up in a place that is worse off than where we are right now. If we are constantly seeking to get better and to heal, if we're constantly seeking wisdom, if we're constantly seeking healthy boundaries, if we're constantly seeking safe relationships, if we're constantly seeking out ways to be kind and loving towards others and to do kind things for others and to help others and to lift one another up and to encourage one another, then it's impossible for us to stay in the spot that we're in. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible for us to stay in an abusive situation if we are seeking out ways to become more knowledgeable and more skilled at creating safety for ourselves and creating safe relationships. I hope that is definitely reassuring for you guys. This has been kind of a nice walk. Kind of liking it. Let's just keep walking, shall we? I just wanted to look at you guys for a minute. Thanks for watching the sunset with me. I definitely was having a little bit of a freak out earlier, not knowing, if I was going to be able to record. I didn't have Wi-Fi. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most hilarious part of all this, okay? So I told Matt this earlier. I called him up. And I'm like, dude, what am I gonna do? This totally sucks. Like, seriously, what am I gonna do? And I said, I was leaving the house, and I was like, I wanna, oh, you guys, I gotta show you the sunset again in a second. Wow, this is really pretty. Let's walk towards it. Let's walk towards the light, shall we? Oh, I cut my hair. I cut 7 inches off my hair, guys. Can you tell? 7 inches. It was like down to here. Not anymore. I was leaving the house. This is the funniest part, and then I'll turn around and we can watch the sunset together. So I said, Siri, directions to Starbucks. And she said, which one would you like to go to? The nearest one was 49 miles away. Because I was like, Wi-Fi, for sure, Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi. You guys gotta see this. Here, let's watch it together. Look at that. Can you see it? Isn't that amazing? So beautiful. Like, seriously. So, yeah, I was like, 49 miles to Starbucks? WTF? Where am I? Spoken like a true person that grew up on the mainland, not in a remote area, and, you know, moved somewhere where I always have Wi-Fi. So anyway, let's turn this around and watch the sunset again. Hold on one second. There we go. Here, let's do this. How about that? How about that? Like, seriously? Let's just watch this together, shall we? If I can keep my hand still. I don't want to make you all motion sick. But yeah, so I was having a little bit of a meltdown. 4 or 5 minutes worth, actually. I had to thank Matt for taking my call. I'm like, dude, what am I gonna do? This totally sucks. And he's like, nobody's gonna care. It's gonna be okay. Remember the field trip? I'm like, brilliant. Brilliant. You're brilliant. The field trip. You're right. The field trip. You know? You guys, isn't this amazing? I guess my hand's shaking. I'm trying not to let it shake. Let's see if I can move it. Yes, I see a lot of advice on the stream tonight about trusting your gut. You all, that's like the healthiest advice ever. We need to trust ourselves. We need to learn to trust ourselves. Thank you, Candy. Oh, I'm so happy to see you, Candy. So happy to see you. So beautiful, huh? Look at that. Let's look at that. Nice emojis, John Harvey. I love it. Yeah, Sharon. A lot of mine is too, for sure. So, here, can you still see? Hey, let's see. There you go. Oh, someone told me not to cut my hair anymore. Girl, I haven't cut my hair in 10 years. It's the first time I cut my hair in 10 years, so I'm going to just continue to cut it if I want to, if it's all right with you. I like long hair, I really do. And even my hair girl, she's from Puerto Rico, Irma, she said, I said, cut it straight, cut it like a long bob, like really straight, a blunt long bob. I think it's called a blob, actually, like on Pop Sugar, you know how it's like a trendy site. She goes, Atina, you know, by the time I see you again, it will be down to your waist. It will be down to your waist by the time I see you. because my hair grows so fast. But I haven't cut it in like 10 years, you guys, like really, really cut it. Like besides a trim, you know? Let's go sit inside, shall we? Yeah, straight across. Yeah, Matt, I'm all about the accent. So I got Minnesota, don't you know? And then that was, of course, Irma with the, oh, it's just gonna stay up there. It's not gonna, I need like a better, I wonder how I can do that. Let me see what I can do, okay? Un momento, por favor. See if I can do this. See if this works. How about this? I guess that's not good. Oh, whoops. Oh no, did I lose you? Oh no, I didn't lose you. No, that's not working. Here, well, maybe I'll just hold it like I was earlier. How's that? That's just gonna have to be okay. You know? Yeah, so you guys, I hope that this has been a good video for you for recognizing safe people versus unsafe people. I know it was a bit of a, you know, field trip. It wasn't, you know, professional and screen shares and all of that, but, you know, I mean, sometimes you just got to go with like what works. And if you're in the middle of a situation where you don't have Wi-Fi and it's either no recording at all or a recording like this, we're probably going to go with a recording like this, you know? So, thank you, John Harvey. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's going so fast. It's going so fast. Oh, you are living life with all your family. Oh, thanks, Matt. Thank you, Ashton. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah, the birds in the sunset. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Monica. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Miss Beachboxer. Oh, Miss Beachboxer. If someone could tag Miss Beachboxer and let her know. This is a field trip, Deborah. We're on a field trip right now because I'm in Southwestern Minnesota. I'm not home. But if someone can tag Miss Beachboxer and let her know that, hi. Hi there. Hi, Brandy. I'm not sure if I know you, but hello. I know you now, and I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So I wanted to let Miss Beachboxer know if someone can tag her. I think it was either her or one of her friends was saying that they don't have international calling from Canada and they can't afford to call in. And so I just wanted to let all of our Canada peeps, which are growing by the day, every day the Canadian audience grows, you guys. Every day the Canadian audience grows bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I just want everybody in Canada and in the UK and Ireland and in Italy and Portugal and in Southeast Asia and in the Middle East and the gal in Singapore. I forget how to say your name. I'm so sorry. And then there's another gal in Mexico. And then there was our gentleman in Costa Rica. And there was a woman and her daughter in Brazil. I just want to let all you guys know that, you know, it's toll-free from all over the world. You don't have to have, we have local numbers for everyone in all the countries. And if you can't call from a phone in one of the countries, then what you can do is you can click on the link that we give you and listen on the computer or on the phone with your earbuds or however you're listening now. And it will be free. It won't cost you a toll. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you all are able to, you know, that you can feel like it's a good choice for you. I know $20 a month is a lot for a lot of people, and it's going to go up to $50 a month next month. But if you sign up on the link that Matt gave you, it's only $20 a month forever, and you get the month of June free because you sign up in May. If you sign up in May, you get the month of June free because we're starting late in May. So we want to give you a whole month free. So you sign up in May, you get the whole month of June free. This is 2018 we're talking about, in case somebody's like watching this like next year or in 5 years or 10 years, or if my future grandbabies are watching this. It's too late to sign up for 20 bucks, future grandbabies. But I'll give you the hookup price because I'm your grandma in the future. So what I'm saying is, if you sign up on the link that Matt gave us for $20 a month, you get the month of June free. You don't get charged another $20 until July. And if you do get charged, you send an email and we refund you. And it's super simple and amazing, because starting in June, it's going to be $50 a month, and then it's going to stay $50 a month until it goes up again, probably in 2019. So I just want to let everybody know that it's fixed. The link is fixed. It works. The PayPal works. Everything works. People are paying. We're getting people signing up. And the whole reason I'm talking about this is that we were going to start the calls tomorrow, the 15th. But since I'm traveling and I don't have all the Wi-Fi and all the links and all the things, we're probably going to start it on Tuesday the 22nd, because we just want to make sure that I'm back from traveling. I don't get back till the 20th. And, you know, Monday is the 21st, and that's live Q&A. That's a week from tonight. And so I figured day after next Monday, you know, the 22nd. So I figured that that's a better time than not. And, you know, oh, the link. Someone's asking for the link. Yes, let's just take it a day at a time with Deborah. I agree, Deborah. One day at a time. Let's just take it a day at a time. That's all we can do, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't handle all this healing, and it's not a one and done. It's not like we can heal all at once. Like, we just can't. It's going to take us a while. It's going to take us a while to heal. But if we're all together, then, you know, we're going to heal at an exponential rate if we're all together. And, speaking of we're all together, first of all, 22nd, I believe, is the date. But if you sign up in May, you get the month of June free, because we feel that that's good, because we're not starting until late May. And we don't want you to be ripped off. We want to give you like a month, like you'll get like prorated or whatever. So, but speaking of like, we're all together, you know, when we're healing all together, that just reminded me of like one sort of kind of happy memory that I had from a childhood experience. And those are few and far between, so we have to like capitalize on those when we find them, right? But did any of you, I know that there's like almost 40 of you here. So out of the 40 people that are here, do any of you remember Pippi Longstocking? And if so, is it a good memory for you or is it a bad memory for you? There was that song with Tommy and Annika, and we're all together, na 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 na, and we'll have a lot of fun. We're all together. Remember? I am Pippi Longstocking, hope in a hay and a hope Shauna. Remember? And Mr. Nelson. And remember when they flew the car and they filled it up with glue or something? Anyway, we are all together. We are all together. We're healing together, all of us. And we're doing life together. And I know that the field trip wasn't what I had planned, but we made it work. Matt talked me off the ledge because I was ready to lose my shit. I was like, I don't have Wi-Fi. What am I going to do? Ah! Yeah, I wasn't able to do the professional presentation that I had planned for this evening. But yeah, we made it happen. Matt talked me off the ledge. It was good. But you guys are amazing. I just wanted to say thanks. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Thanks for all the support. Hope to see you all on the daily calls. cptsdfoundation.org/daily-recovery-support. I think that's the link. It's in the chat box somewhere. And just hope you all have a great week. I'll see you a week from tonight. I'll see you over in the free groups. If anyone wants to get welcomed into a free group, if you're not already in a free group, please email Lisa at cptsdfoundation.org. She's my amazing assistant who I'm meeting up with tomorrow face-to-face here in Southwestern Minnesota. We're having a luncheon together. It's going to be amazing. She's driving. She's road tripping to come see me, which, how cool is that, right? I have the greatest team ever. So, and a special shout out to Shirley, who's helping us get all set up with our 501c3 tax, 501c3 nonprofit organization designation with tax deductible donations, which some of you have sent in donations. And if you have ever sent in a donation to me, at the P.O. box in the about section of this YouTube channel, and you need a tax deductible, a thing that's tax deductible, like for your taxes, I'll be able to provide that for you. So just contact me, let me know you sent a donation, and I'll make sure that you get something for your taxes when you do them next April or at the end of 2018 or whatever, because I'm going to be all legit and it's going to be amazing and I just can't believe it. So let's have one last peek at the sunset, shall we? And then I'll let you guys go. And this has just been so cool. I love hanging out with you. Let's turn it around. 1 second here. There we go. Last bit of the sunset. This has been a great night, you guys. Thanks for spending the evening together with everyone in this community. I will see you next Monday and every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to get welcomed into a free group that will always be free, please email Lisa at cptsdfoundation.org. Or if you're interested in daily recovery support, daily calls from all over the world that are free, then you can go to cptsdfoundation.org/daily-recovery-support. And I look forward to connecting with you. I'll see you guys next Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. Okay.